Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 18th. It is 5:24 right now. We got the scheduled mentoring session with Ben at 5:30. So I'm going to go ahead and finish setting this room up real quick. And if you guys have any questions, I'm not going to be answering any today, but you guys are free to sit in and follow with our one-on-one session for today. So it's going to finish setting this up real quick. And we should be good to go. All right, it's a few more things there to update. All right, cool. Let me get this link sent over to Ben real quick. Perfect. Hey Ben,
What's up, Sean? How you doing, man?
man, how's it going? Long time no see.
Good, good. How you been, man?
Been great, bro. Same old,
I
getting this market. I know you've seen how it's been. You got in at like I wouldn't say a bad time, but you got in at a tricky time because you started like towards the end of spring and like you got into that market where it started to just get choppy.
I'm learning, man. I'm learning.
Honestly, this is the best time to learn because you're getting
Yeah.
thrown into the fire basically, right? So like towards the end of summer, early fall, it's gonna be a lot smoother. So when it gets smoother, you're gonna be able to just catch those moves right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think well, I wanted to ask you, how are you doing? How's everything with you, man? How's
And-
getting everything all ready?
yeah, bro, everything's getting ready. Baby's supposed to be here in a few weeks. She's due July 11th, but we're thinking maybe come she might come earlier, but I mean, who knows really, you know?
Wow. Exciting
Yeah.
time, man. That's an exciting time, man. I want to thank you for putting some time aside for me to chat with you. I
Oh no,
appreciate
definitely,
that.
man. Definitely. I can never get enough of trading, bro, no matter what.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Um, I've been routinely like every day. I don't think I missed a day in the morning with you guys. I guess my I do have some things that I wanted to ask you, but if there's anything that you want to start with first, I'll be happy to do that too.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll start off with whatever questions you have because we really just want to drill down on like on you
Okay.
because everybody's different, right? Like I could
Okay.
tell you what to do, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to apply to you. I can tell you to do this, that, and the other, but if it's nothing that you actually need, it's kind of pointless. So
Sure.
let's get down to like what you need help
All
with,
right.
and then we could drill down on that.
All right. Perfect. I guess it's just I have about like 8 things I wrote down that I noticed that I need to figure out. And the first one would be I guess my I'm closing out trades before TP,
Hmm.
most of them, and I'm noticing that, and maybe I'm just getting used to it, but I'm I'm not like letting it ride out. If it doesn't draw, uh, if it starts to not draw down or the direction I'm trying to get into, I usually try to close out before that.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
I'm
That's a
having an
common
issue with
thing.
that. So
Yeah,
I know like my losses, I'm letting it hit full stop loss.
yeah, you're doing the opposite. You're letting the losses hit, but you're not letting the winners win. That's what's happening.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. Um, Usually from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, I usually have some small profits following you guys or following you. And then after that, um, I overtrade
Hmm.
and I up my contracts for some reason. I don't know why. I up my contracts and I end up blowing the accounts and I'm not sure if I'm going the right direction because sometimes I'm thinking, okay, well, uh, the accounts on Apex they're going for a good deal, so I'm gonna load up on them and I'm gonna try to go ham on them, and then it just doesn't go my way.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a classic thing, bro. It's like, they do that on
Okay,
purpose. Like they do that to get you in that mindset, right? You're like, oh, this account's so cheap. It's like $30 or $10 or
sure,
whatever. And you're like, okay, I'm just gonna stock up and then I'll go YOLO on this. And if I blow it, fine. Well, that's 10 or $30. But when you add it, it starts to add up, right? Over time, because you're
yeah,
like you could have just lost 10 or $50, but then you took like multiple accounts. Now you're up to like $100. You're like, damn.
sure,
And that goes with the same concept of like what you just mentioned earlier, like what you mentioned earlier with increasing the contract size and stuff like that. If you stuck to like maybe like, just one contract, one account, and then just stuck to that, and then, you wouldn't make a lot of profit, you wouldn't lose a lot either, but you wouldn't be blowing the accounts. It's going to help you
yeah,
kind of, and then from there you can kind of increase a little bit. So I think, to start off, and the things that you're going through, bro, everybody goes through it. Like till today, there's like people who've been in the group for a while and they still go through it. It's just a cycle. It's a cycle
mm,
where your mind kind of plays tricks on you because you
sure,
can't keep that discipline and you can't keep the consistency. Uh, so I think the main thing that you need to work on is really consistency and discipline. So I would
right,
say stick to just like one account and
mm,
just use one contract for now at least, right? Just for now, just to kind of get your mindset like in the proper direction that you want it to go to, where you want to just keep repeating the process, rinse and repeat. And then with regard to you closing the trades too early, I think what you should do is maybe go with a smaller TP stop loss. So like instead of going for that 30-30, because the problem is like, well, 30-30 is good if you want that cushion, right? Because you want it to kind of breathe a little bit, but it's
sure,
also it's a double-edged sword because you have that cushion. If
yeah.
price sits in the middle, you're like, fuck, okay, let me let me just bring the target down a little bit, or let me just close out because you don't want that to turn against you.
Yeah,
So
my current contracts are like 3 contracts to 4 contracts, and usually about 20 to 25 ticks.
okay, no, that's good. That's good. I think your TPs or your range within your TP stop loss is good. I think maybe keep it at like 20-20. Uh,
Hmm.
you'll either win the trade or you'll lose the trade right away. And
Sure.
that might get you in that mindset to like to hold a position because like 20 points is going to hit quickly. 30 points is kind of where you start to push a little bit, right? Because like when you get to 20 to 30, it kind of like it plays games on you. Like today, I don't know if you saw the entry I took today. It went to
Yeah.
I moved my stop loss and profit. I should have just left it, bro. Like if
Yeah,
I
that was what I was going to ask you about that too. I was going to ask you, is that something that um, someone that's a little bit more experienced should be doing, or should I be practicing that as well?
No,
Move
yeah.
the
So
stop loss.
I think for you now, you gotta get familiar with like just letting the trade run, whether it
Okay.
goes to your stop loss. So like right now, I'd say don't move your stop loss and profit. If it hits loss or it hits win, perfect. The thing is with
Hmm.
our strategies, it has a decent enough win rate where you're supposed to like equal like profit at the end of the month. You might not
Sure.
make a lot of profit or you might make not a lot of losses, but at the end of the month you
Hmm.
should be like positive to some extent, have like one net win or two net wins. So I think you got to get to the point where you can kind of just hold the position. Once you're able
Hmm.
to kind of like analyze it further, like you'll see like when I take a trade sometimes, the trade will set up and I'll keep doing my analysis to make sure that the trade's going to keep going my direction.
Right.
If you were to do something like that, that would kind of get you to second guess your position, right? And you don't want to do that because that's kind of what you're doing now. It's like you get into a position it goes into drawdown a little bit and you're like, oh crap, I want to get out because you're not feeling good. And then you move your TP a little closer and then it just blasts right through it. But if you would have just
Hmm.
left it, it would have went straight to your TP either way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think
Okay.
uh, first things first is probably just stick to the 2020 for now because we're in a slow market. So you're gonna
Yeah.
the volatility is not gonna be super, super high. Like it's not like when you started, it was kind of
Yeah.
super high, but now
Oh
we're
yeah.
it cooled down a lot. It cooled down a lot
Yeah.
since you
There's days where like the last few weeks last week was kind of slow and the market wasn't doing much and I'd have to sit on my hands and I end up trading after our sessions done and I'm like oh I get bored I get I'm like why did I do that?
Oh, bro, that's the worst. It's the worst when like you're just sitting at the chart, like you're just sitting there and watching, but you're not on the live anymore. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is gonna go up or this is gonna go down. You're like, you don't even, there's no strategy. You just take it, right? You're like, bye.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you look back and you're like, fuck, I lost it.
I'm actually I go on the paper trading. That's like my routine. After 8 o'clock, I jump on the paper trading. I'm trying to like, practice that way.
Yeah.
And then I find myself like, you know what? I'm just gonna get on my simulation, and it usually ends up the same way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think if that's the case, maybe just don't. I mean, it's hard because not right now you're new, so you want to keep practicing and you want to keep, trying the strategies out like out to the live session. But it's probably doing you more harm than good because
Yeah. Okay.
you're getting into that mindset where you're like, oh, maybe if I just wait a little bit longer, or
Yeah.
if you always think about the what ifs, right? Because the thing with
Yes.
the market is that it's always open. So, you could get up
Hmm.
and down, you could start trading if you wanted to. But if you look at the market and you pulled up the chart, you're like, there's really nothing going on. So there's no point in trading
Hmm.
at this time. So yeah, I think maybe just cut it off, honestly. Like
Okay.
I would say cut it off and just if you want to keep practicing, I would just do you know how to use the replay feature on the charts?
Yes.
Okay, so I would just if you want to keep practicing, I would go back to like previous days, but just practice between 6:30 and 8.
Okay.
So that you know like how the market's moving because from what I've seen traditionally, the market is like really dead after the live session, where it starts to really slow down.
Yeah, I've noticed you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if you probably looked at it, it's like, it kind of stresses you out more because you're like, why isn't this working? But
Sure.
most of the time, like I've already done the test like around that time period and it doesn't work well. So like you're usually going to do more harm than good because it's going to make
Hmm.
you second guess the strategy. Like you're gonna be like, oh, does this really work? Should I do something different? Should I try a different
Yeah.
strategy? Um,
Okay.
and that's typically the cycle that a lot of people get into. They'll like use a strategy, it works for a little bit, and then the market kind of changes, and then they go to something completely different. And then, they just keep going through that cycle of new strategy, new strategy, new strategy, and they
Okay.
never really understand what they're doing.
Yeah, I kind of started this week. I told myself I was just gonna follow 6:30 to 8, and so far it's been okay. I guess I'm in profit in one account, and just gonna stick to that so far.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good. Like we talked about on the live sessions, like how the other guy said too, a win is a win because like that gets your confidence up because you want to have confidence going into the next day.
Hmm.
You don't want to like end this session and you go into the next session scared, right? Because like today could be a bad day or a slow day or whatever day, and then tomorrow could
Hmm.
be like a hot day. But if you're too nervous to take any entries, you
Right.
pretty much just wasted a good day. So you always want to just keep yourself level. Like you don't want to be too excited, you don't want to be too sad, you don't want to be too down, because like if you don't want to carry that over to the next day, because like for example, if you win a good amount today, you don't want to go into tomorrow being too excited and then you jump into positions that aren't actually there. And then
Here's a question I would like to ask you.
Mhm.
I noticed that you're very cautious on the entries that you make, but there's several entries that are covered during 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Would you suggest that I get in on each entry, or should I just follow the entry that more or less you would make?
If you're gonna do one contract size, I would just take majority of them or all of them. Like if they look good to you, like if I do an analysis for a certain trade and you're like, oh, that
Mhm.
looks good in your eyes too, then I would,
Yeah.
yeah. Because if you're doing one contract, you have the opportunity to take more risk, right?
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's like if I lose a trade, then I'm kind of screwed. I can't really take too many trades per day because I'm
Sure.
taking a certain contract size. If I was taking a smaller contract size, then yeah, I would be in the same situation where I would take more. I've started to kind of think that way. I don't know if you've noticed, like I cut my
Cut them in
contracts.
threes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because I was doing one big one before because I was aiming for like one good trade. But what I
Hmm.
noticed is I always pick the loser. I don't know if you noticed that, but like it's like there's like four, six, eight good trades, and then I pick
Hmm.
that one trade that loses, and I'm like, dang, I'm screwed.
Hmm.
So I put it into threes now because if I do take that loser, the next trade usually is going to win,
Yeah,
balance it out. So
got it.
so
Okay.
yeah, I would take as many as you can if you're doing one contract because that'll kind of give you it'll kind of condition you. It'll condition you to like
Hmm.
accept the losses, right? Because I think right now you're kind of in that situation where you're scared to lose or you don't want to lose. So you
Hmm.
just you'll cut the trade early. If you do it with a small contract size and you just let the trade hit, you're
Hmm.
gonna see that, looking at the bigger picture for the day, you're gonna see
Hmm.
there's more wins than losses. So either way, if you take all the trades, you're gonna end up in profit.
Okay. I feel like most of the time in the morning from 6:30 to 8, ever since I've been following you, for the most part, it's been good when I follow. And I'm trying to figure out how um if I should, I guess what I'm trying to say is, should I stick to in your opinion, should I stick to funded accounts or should I even try to work with like a live account?
Personally, I would like honestly, I like funded accounts because I have
Hmm.
like the discipline and I can like, I have the control to like do the same thing every single day.
Hmm.
For most people, I think a regular live account would be better because you don't have that daily drawdown and
Hmm.
you don't see the big numbers, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like when you see the big numbers, that's kind of what forces you to want to take more trades or take.
You're absolutely right. I feel like there's days when I have like I'm up like maybe $800-900 for the day, and I'm like, well, I got to get to that 3,000 mark, so let's keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is like, you see the big numbers, you paid like, 10, $30 for this account and you're like, bro, I'm making 1,000 bucks. Like I'm
Yeah,
profit on this. And then you just want to keep it gets you into that greed mindset where you're like, I need to get more and more and more. But if it was your own account and you're losing like $100, you're like, damn, I need to cool it down.
you feel it.
You
You
feel
feel
it,
it more.
you really feel it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the good thing with that is that it kind of forces you to be responsible, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's a double-edged sword with these funding companies. Like the funding companies are good if you know how to use them properly.
Hmm.
But if you don't and you're kind of treating it as like, you're trying to hit that jackpot, you're never like not you, but in general, a person is never gonna because the thing is I see a lot of people too, like they'll do it, they'll pass, they'll get funded, they'll maybe get one payout, and then after that it's done. So
Hmm.
it's like they kind of their mindset kind of changes, right? Because they're like,
Right.
oh, already now I need to do even more YOLO because I want to get this payout,
Yeah.
and then a lot of times I see people that's crazy. They'll get funded, get paid out, or not. They'll get funded, they'll get close to the payout, and they'll be off by like maybe a couple dollars, bro, a couple dollars. And they're like that one last trade. They try to take something big because they're like, oh, I've been hitting 3,000 every day, and then they just blow the whole account. So it's
Oh man. Yeah, I can see that happening. I could totally see that happening.
yeah, yeah. So like, what I would say is, if you want to do both, you could probably like set up your own personal account and then just trade on that one so you can see the numbers on yours, but then just
Sure.
have the funding companies as a copier. So like it's taking the same trades, but you're not seeing the big numbers. So
Got you.
you're thinking that you're making like 10, 20, $100, but then your copier is taking big contract size, but you don't see it. Like, it's like that thing
I hear
like
you.
that
Okay.
saying out of sight, out of mind type thing.
Yeah.
You don't
Okay.
see it, but it's happening in the background. So
Yeah.
as long as you make those little profits on your main account, at the end of the week or the end of the month, you could pull up your funded account or your prop account, and you're like, oh crap, I made like a couple $1,000 on here. But
Right.
it's not making you want to
That
take
sounds
more
good.
trades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually had that idea and I put some money into a live account, but I wanted to talk to you about that beforehand. I didn't know if that was a good direction to go, and I'm pretty sure you had more experience in that avenue with
Yeah,
other
exactly. And that's what I typically do. Like before like the whole hedge fund got kind of put on freeze and pause, that's what I mainly did. I traded on my personal account and I was making like, maybe like $500 per trade. But it wasn't like how I'm doing like on the Apex where I'm making like a couple $1,000. So like I would see
right.
all our numbers and I'm like, okay, I'm like content about it. But at the end of the week, I'm like, all right, I add everything up in total and I'm like, yeah, okay, I made a pretty good amount of profit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. All right. So I guess speaking on that, uh, I haven't really used I have Ninja Trader and Replicano.
Hmm.
I haven't really used a live account on Ninja Trader's platform. I haven't traded on Ninja Trader. I've been trading on TradingView and linking Tradeovate where it's connected to my Ninja Trader that
Yeah.
way. Um, if I only have one account for a live account, which brokerage would you suggest me using for trading on TradingView?
I would do either Ninja Trader or Trade of Eight, or they're the same thing. So if you sign up to one, they're like interchangeable. So if you want to do Ninja or Trade of Eight, either one works.
Okay. For some reason, I'm not able to trade on TradingView with Ninja Trader with a live account. Are you
Oh yeah,
aware of
so,
that?
so you have to there's like a little like I don't even do it because they make you pay like $10 I think for it or something like that.
The
So
subscription?
there's like if you go into your settings, there's an option there and it's an add-on for TradingView. I think it's like
Hmm.
10 bucks or something like that. And
Yeah.
you have to activate that and then it'll let you log into the TradingView.
Okay, because I actually did that and it said that it doesn't allow this trading symbol, which is the E-mini Dow Jones for
Oh,
some reason.
The YM?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I know what it is. It's because you have to buy the data. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's so weird, bro. It's like they because the thing with Apex is cool because they include everything in it. But when you
Yeah.
want a live account, you have to like buy the data yourself. So you would have to go into your NinjaTrader login on the web browser.
Yeah.
You go to your account and then there's like an option for the live data and you got to pay
Yes.
for the YM data. So once you pay for that, then it'll say,
Hmm.
okay, you can trade it because then you have live data.
Okay. And I could trade on TradingView as well.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I know there's all these loops, bro. So it's a good thing that you have me because you could just ask me directly or else
Yeah.
you'd be in a loop trying to find an answer for this. It's like it's weird because they don't explain this stuff to you. It's like you sign up for an account and like you're like,
Uh-huh.
okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, I was gonna subscribe to that. I think it's that subscription, that data that you're mentioning right now. And I was like, I don't know if if I should yet. That was before I
Yeah,
talked to you.
yeah, make sure that you just choose YM because that's all you're gonna be trading. Because it's like
Hmm.
$4, I think, $4 or $7. If you
Okay.
for the whole thing, it's like 20. It gives you like all of the assets. So it gives you like YM and Q, but you don't really trade those, so it's kind of pointless.
No. Gotcha.
You just need YM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, I mean, I was thinking about starting with like 2,500. Do you think that's a okay number, or should I be starting with?
If you're gonna start at 2,500, you're gonna have to trade the micro, which is fine. It's the same thing. So instead of trading YM, you'll trade MYM. It's just YM.
Mhm.
It requires more margin. So like I think you need at least like 10 or 15,000
Okay.
to just cover the margin. Like you don't have to risk that much, but because YM it costs more to trade, it's like $5 per point.
Uh-huh.
You'd have to have more money to just cover. Because I think when you do have like basically if you put like 10,000 in the account, you could risk about like 10% of that.
Okay.
So if you put 2,000, it would be impossible because if you took like one trade, let's see, if you took one trade with YM, it would be 1 times 5 times 20. Yeah, your risk would be like about 100, so you'd be kind of eating into your margin. So it wouldn't let you trade YM, but you could trade MYM. You just add an M before it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
MYO.
instead of $5 per point, it's going to be 50 cents per point.
Okay. So how
So you
many contracts would you suggest me trading on MYM?
let's see. Let's just go to paper trading. All right, let me see what the numbers look like. Oh, let me go to MYM. Yeah, so MYM, let's see. So how much would you want to risk per trade?
Uh, I think I'm happy with anywhere from 300 to 400.
Okay. That's cool. I'm just gonna get a number here so I can kind of put it into the thing. If you
Sure.
want to figure out like what the numbers would be, you just pull up MYM on TradingView, and
Hmm.
then you would just could you see can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So you would just you open one of these windows, a buy or sell, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter. You just put your take profit stop loss. If you're using a 20-point TP stop loss, you'll just put
Yeah.
that right there. And then
Hmm.
whatever you want to risk right here, you'll just put it in. So if you want to risk 300, you put 300, it'll tell you take 30 contracts.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, if you want to do 400, you change it and I'll tell you 40 contracts. So that's how you could get
Gotcha.
a number. That's why I was just asking for those specific numbers to have an idea. Um,
Okay.
or if you want to risk less, I don't know if you could risk that much with I don't know what the margin requirements are for MYM, but like I said earlier, you need to have like I think you'd only risk a max of 20%. So like let's see, 2,500 times we'll say 20%. Or I think you could
Five
probably
hundred bucks.
yeah, probably I think this would be your max. If you lose more than 500, they're gonna cut you off. They'll just automatically close your position. So
Okay.
keep that in mind. So you probably want
Okay.
a little lesser. Don't go up to 400. Maybe start with like 200, 300, and then
Hmm.
once you build that account a little higher, like once you go from 2,500 to like maybe 3,000, then okay, then increase your contracts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Now, if I was to try to trade on YM, I would have to have a margin of how much?
It would be around like it would be depending on what your TP stop loss would be, it'd be around like a bare minimum of like 7 to 8,000. And I only know
Okay.
that because like it's happened to me before where like my account dropped to that level because I put like usually what I did before is I would keep it at like 10,000. And then if I
Hmm.
dropped down to like 7,000, it would give me a warning. Like it would say,
Alert.
yeah,
Okay.
like oh you're at a margin and then it would say liquidation only and it'll kick me out of the position.
Okay.
So
Got it.
it's gonna be around there. I don't know exactly the number because I never really get to that point. Like once it
Sure.
happened to me, I was like, all right, well, shit. Now I know I got to keep above like 10,000 at all times.
Yes. Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Now, if I was to use that live account and use my Ninja Trader with the Replicano for the Apex accounts, I would customize it in the contract area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you set up your Replicano, you would set it to I don't even open mine up. I forgot what it was called, but there's a specific option there. Have you set it up already or not yet?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did set it up for Tradeovate, but it's copying the same contracts in the same amount. But
Oh
I
yeah,
figured
yeah,
if I got the live, it would be different.
yeah, because you have it to exact, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have it to exact, let's see. Yeah, because the thing is, too, you'd have to let me check the settings because I know the settings would be a little different since you'd be trading different contracts. Let me see. Yeah, so you would change it to pre-allocation, so you could put the exact contract size on there.
Reallocations. Okay.
Here, let me see if I could. I don't even think I have MYM on here. But yeah, so like what you would do is, um, oh, here we go, micros, MYM. Yeah, so I don't know if you have it open right now, but if you have Replicon open, you would select your instrument as MYM September 25. That's going to be the September contract for the micro, and then you
Hmm.
have your leader account as your main account. You just select it on there, and then
Hmm.
method you would set that to pre-allocation, and then when you have the list of all your accounts, then on your Apex accounts you'll just put um, the specific contract size. So under pre-allocation, it'll probably say 0. You'll just put a specific number there for what contract size you want it to take. And then,
Oh, okay. For each individual one.
yeah, do you have it open right now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like, yeah, for each one, you put the specific contract size. And
Got
then
it.
if you go over to the right, it says cross order. Do you see that?
Yes.
So what does it say right now?
YM cross order into the little box.
Okay, so are you on the instrument on the left side? Does it say MYM or are you on YM?
I'm on YM.
Okay, so I'm just gonna show you how it'll look like if you're trading your live account. So go
Okay.
down to click that drop down and then go to
Okay.
micros. And then the
Micro.
last one's gonna say MYM September 25.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, cool. So now see over there in the crossover, it should say a box. It should have a box and it should say MYM now, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so now click on it
Uh-huh.
and see how it changes to YM.
Yes, it did.
Okay, perfect. So this means that if you execute your live account and then
Hmm.
your copier copies it, it's going to take it on YM, not MYM.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what you would do when you would start copying the trades.
Do I have to check the ATM and market only
Uh,
also?
just turn on ATM. Don't turn on market. ATM,
Okay.
what that does is when you take a trade, your copier is going to set it's going to set the same target. So like say for example, you have a connection issue, like it happens sometimes. Uh, even though your main account got disconnected, your other account will
Hmm.
still exit because it has a TP stop loss on of its own.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Here's another question I have. I noticed sometimes when I am either closing out or it's hitting my TP or my stop loss, that is doesn't close out the whole entire trade or the whole entire contract. Is there a reason behind that? Is that my
Yeah.
internet or something?
No, no, it's just the market. So like I think what you've seen is like you'll probably see like you have like six contracts or four contracts and it only closes out like one or two, right? And then it's still running. So what
Yeah.
happens sometimes it's called slippage. Like usually
Okay.
your TP or stop loss is like exactly like because what happens is like everybody it's called FIFO. That's the rule. It's called first in, first out. What
Okay.
happens
It's filling orders.
yeah, filling the order. So
Okay.
basically, there's people in line. So like whenever you
Okay.
place your order, you're like in line with other people. So
Hmm.
like when it reaches to that price, like whatever your stop loss or your TP is, whoever's in line first is gonna get closed out. And then if you're in the back of the line, you're still like waiting for your order to get filled. So
Got it.
it just happens sometimes because like your target just might be where there's a ton of orders, like there's like 1,000 orders just chilling right there, right? So unfortunately, sometimes like some euros will get closed out and some of them will just will be stuck there. So if that
Okay.
happens, it's always important to just like watch your chart because it happens to me sometimes too. And when it does happen, I just hit flatten all on Replicano and then it
Hmm.
closes everything out.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. It's because like, well, especially for me, because I'm trading like so many contracts
Hmm.
on like multiple accounts. So like sometimes I'll have like majority of the accounts that close out, and then I'll have like maybe two accounts that are still running.
Okay. Cool. Now, for some reason, if Ninja Trader is not allowing me to trade on TradingView or I'm having more issues, is there another brokerage that you would suggest to trade on TradingView by chance?
None that I'm like familiar with because I only use TradingView. I only use Ninja Trader and Tradeovate. There's one other one that let me see. So there's like a whole list of them here actually. The only problem that I don't like about it is that not all of them are compatible with Ninja Trader.
Okay.
So like the copier is going to be kind of pointless, like you won't be able
Yeah.
to use it. The only
Gotcha.
other one that I've seen here, which I signed up to, and I couldn't figure out. Well, I didn't really try hard, but the other one that's supposed to be like work with it is called Interactive Brokers. This is like another big one. I signed up with them, but for some reason I couldn't get it connected on NinjaTrader. I think like there's like a whole like it's not easy where you just like when you just put in your login information, it goes directly. With
Yes.
with interactive brokers, there's like another process that you have to go through to get it on there.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
the only other one that I'm personally familiar with. It
Mhm.
works, but I just didn't really put the effort in to understand how to get it connected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's all the questions I really do have. I guess okay, two more things. I don't know how much time you have, man.
Oh, you're good, bro. No rush.
Okay.
I
Um,
worked out like an hour for you, so it's all good.
nice. Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I know you guys talk about liquidity in the morning,
Hmm.
and right now you guys are more looking at sweeps and MPS V2s, but I know that you guys also mentioned, or there's other people in the chats that mentioned A plus plus setups.
Mhm.
I'm not really understanding how to identify liquidity or A plus plus setups
Oh yeah, of
until
course.
someone calls it out or you call it out.
Yeah, where it's obvious, right? Yeah. Yeah, so the A++ setups, it's basically a follow-up from the MPS V2. So like for me, I miss them as well because they happen so quickly. Like you have to like specifically be looking for them. There's a guy Sam, he's always taking them and he's actually catching them. But an A++ setup is basically so he took one over here earlier this morning. Yeah, I was like right here. So the A++ setup, it just follows the MPS V2. So see how this first one over here was the MPS V2? Like we had a buy
From
signal. Uh,
from the buy signal. Okay.
yeah, this one right here. So right here, there was a buy signal, retracement, and then this
Yep.
candle over here closed above the momentum, right? So that's going to be an MPS V2.
Yep.
An A++ happens after it, or it could happen before it too. So, or no, technically it should happen after it because it's like the third setup. Basically, the process that it works in is usually, or I think I have this set up here somewhere. Uh, there we go. Yeah, so it's usually like the third setup. So like for example over here, we had a bicycle. We had the MPS V2 that came up. There was an engulfing candle right here. See how there's the E below it?
Yes.
And then this would be the third one, right? So you're basically looking for like three confirmations. You're looking for they're basically a reversal pattern. So you're looking for one first reversal pattern or an MPS V2. You're basically just counting three legs of a trade. So like you're basically looking for something like this. Like you're looking for price to kind of go up, reversal, MPSV2, and then your MPS your A++ will happen on the last leg. So right here, price kind of pushed up. We had the buy signal.
Mm-hmm.
We had the engulfing right here. So that's going to be the first leg, right? This first area right here. The
Mm-hmm.
MPSV2 happened after. That's like the middle area right here. And then
Okay.
the other one right here, which is a V1, this is the third leg. So that would be the A plus plus. That's why we added a plus to it because it's basically like or A plus 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 because it's like three setups that like kind of follow after.
Okay. So it has to have the V1 also for the signal?
It could be have either one. So it could have a E or it could have a V1. So basically you're looking for basically three legs of the move. So you're looking for like one reversal pattern, like either you're seeing an E or a V1, and then MPS V2, and then the last leg. So this is why it becomes a little confusing because like there's so many different scenarios for it. It's not just like one scenario. Like for MPS V2, there's only one way to see it, right? But
Yes.
with the A++, there's multiple ways to see it. You can either see, so right here, scenario number one, this is reversal continuation or reversal MPS V2, right? So for the scenario one, you're looking for, like, say for example, right here, we had this as a MPS V2, right? So what we're looking for scenario one is we're looking for this E right here, and then we're looking for another E or V1 right here. But there's nothing there, so this isn't going to be scenario one. But just saying, for example, if there was like an E or a V1 over here, then an E or a V1 over here, and then MPS V2, this
Mm-hmm.
MPS V2 would be an A++ setup. Does that make sense?
Okay. Not necessarily. I'm still not catching. I'm still not
Yeah, yeah. No,
understanding.
and it's okay. I want you to like to be clear and say you don't get it, so I can give you the other examples because that's like
Okay.
that's one example right there. For this specific entry, this is going to be scenario number two actually. So for scenario number two right here, see how the first one that you're looking for is a reversal or continuation.
Mm-hmm.
So for that first one, the first leg, it's going to be this E right here, right?
Right.
That's going to be one. The second confirmation is MPS V2. So the MPS V2 came up after it, right? Right here.
Right.
So that's going to be the second one. And the third confirmation is another reversal continuation, which is going to be the V1 right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it says enter on V1 or engulfing close. As soon as this candle right here closes, that's going to be the A++.
Okay.
Yeah, does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
got
so
you.
yeah, it makes sense when you have like it lined up like that.
So
These
it's continuation. That's one of the scenarios.
exactly, yeah. So like
Okay.
basically what you're looking for is you're looking for three parts of a push. So like
Uh-huh.
it doesn't have to be like perfect like how I drew up here, but you're
Right.
basically looking for three parts of a push because what happens is you get basically three confirmations. So basically this first E right here, this is where it started to push up. Like this is a sign that price is gonna push up hard. So
Hmm.
for first you got one confirmation right here. It's like okay, this is a reversal. Price pushed up, retraced, and that's like step one. You're like okay, when you see this, you're like price might push. Let me rewind it. So right here, price is kind of going sideways. And then when you first see this E, this is your first sign to think, okay, maybe price is going to push in this direction. Because you'll see that like sometimes you'll get these E's and these V1s on both sides, right? So every time you see something like this, like say you see this V1, this could be your first sign that price might be reversing
Hmm.
going down. But
Right.
but but what you're looking for here is you're looking for a confirmation later because you want to make sure that it's actually going to push down and not push up.
Okay.
Because if you look over here, if you look back, there's a V1 right here, right? So you're like, okay, price is maybe pushing down, but you're not sure.
Right.
You're probably like 30% sure that price is going to push down.
Right.
Same with this one over here. You can see, or here's another example. See how there's an E right here?
Yes.
So this E right here is an example of, okay, price is going to push up, but you don't know yet because you're just like 30% sure. You're like, okay, I don't know, maybe this is going to push up. But then you see another E right here, right? So there's two E's, and you're like, okay,
Hmm.
this now I'm like maybe 50% sure this is going to push up. And then you get the third one right here. This is basically an A plus plus again. See how there's another E right there?
Yes.
So now you have three confirmations. This just it reinforces your knowledge. You're like, okay, I got one thing right that price is going to push up.
Hmm.
I got two things right that price is going to push up. Here's my third confirmation. Okay, that's an A plus plus, and that's where you get in from. And then this
Okay.
right here would
But
have been
seeing the two V1s wouldn't really make me change my mind on it.
so are you talking about this one right here?
Yeah, because it's going in the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're kind of doing like process of elimination because like for
Mhm.
example, right here you saw the first V1, right?
Yeah.
But then you got an E here, but it pushed past the V1. So you see how price pushed
Right.
past this like this candle right here. So
Yes.
it kind of this would invalidate your thought that price is going to come down. So like same with the opposite analysis here. See how we have an E right here?
Hmm.
This is your first thought, like okay, price might be coming down. And then here's a V1, you're like, this is okay, this is your second thought that price is going to come down. But now you see the opposite happen and it actually pushes past it.
Right.
So your whole analysis here for price to come down is pretty much invalidated. You know, it's out the door because you're like, okay,
Right.
it's went the opposite. So I was wrong about the sells. Now I'm looking for buys because price is now turning this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how the A plus plus works. It's like
Hmm.
you have to be like really looking for it. Like you have to be paying attention to these E's and these V1.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why, like, for me, it's kind of hard for me to pay attention because I'm like looking at so many things, and
Yeah.
I'm not really my focus doesn't go towards those specific setups.
Hmm.
But in the future, if that's something that you like, because some people like it. Like, there's some people in the lives that they always call out the A plus plus because that's the strategy that they like. So they're not really focusing on MPSV2s. They're mostly focusing on just um, A plus pluses. Same with me. I'm mainly focusing on liquidity sweeps because that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I know that's what's good for this type of market.
Would you say that the A plus plus setups are better setups than MPSV twos?
Probably, yeah, probably. And the reason for
Okay.
that is because with the MPS V2, you're getting in kind of early, right? So if you
Okay,
look,
so there's more confidence. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So if you look over here again, yeah. So when I had the little scenarios here, like if you see here, a lot of times the MPS V2 is going to be like maybe the first or the second confirmation, right? So the thing is, it's a double-edged sword because you could be getting it early, and then you can get that earlier push, right? Because you'll get the MPSV2 and you'll be out before it starts to turn around.
Got it.
But it's going to be a double-edged sword because if you get in early, you could be wrong, right? You could be taking MPSV2, but it could actually be turning against you.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to wait for if you're patient to wait for the A plus plus, these are actually they'd be better because you're basically waiting for that further confluence. You're not just getting in right when you see
Hmm.
MPSV2, you're getting in when you see the confluence after the MPSV2.
Okay. Cool. Got it.
Yeah. And then
Um, as far as liquidity, should I should just be following you on the liquidity thing because I really don't understand how you're marking up liquidity yet,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just taking the sweeps when you call it out.
Yeah, no, it's a little it's a little complicated. So like I could kind of give you a quick understanding of how I do it. So like basically the
I
way that
do appreciate the new daily charts and the weekly charts that you're putting out. That seems pretty cool, man. And I
oh
that's
yeah,
that's pretty
have
cool.
you been looking at them?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, yeah. So what I would recommend is every morning, when I send out that the charts here, just go here to the main levels and then like wherever these levels are, just mark them up on your chart, bro. Because like this is gonna help you a lot to understand like where there are good sweeps or like where maybe you should avoid trades. Like you don't want to
Hmm.
take MPSV2s that like cut into resistance, right? Because they might reverse on you. Uh, and
Okay.
and same with the opposite. You don't want to be taking you don't want to take taking sell entries when they cut into the support because that's probably going to be a sweep area.
So what do you mean by you're marking up the levels? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, and I'll show you. And this is good because you're going to learn how to do this, and this is helping me a lot because I'm becoming even more patient. Like I'm already patient as is, but now I'm like super patient because I'm like, okay, I have these levels here to kind of
Nice.
to get me a little more cautious whenever it gets to certain areas. So
Hmm.
like, what I would say is, and I usually get on like a little early, like around like 5:30 or so or 6 because
Okay.
we go live by like 6:20. So I kind of want to have everything done.
Right.
So what I do is I'll look over here at the PDF and then I'll look at like what it is. So I'll look right here, let's say like overnight high at 42,671. And it says right here,
Mhm.
there's notes. It says like resistance if bullish, continuation resume. So like right here, 42,761. I'll probably go on the higher time frame, not the 1 minute because it's like it's too close. I'll probably go like
Okay.
on the 15 minute just to be able to
Okay.
mark up these levels. And then what I do a lot of times is I'll just turn everything off so it's clean. So I kind of just turn everything all right, put it on hidden, and then I'll go down the list right here and I'll say, okay, 42,671. And this says it's a resistance, right? So it says
Hmm.
resistance if bullish. And what I'll do is I'll just go to that number. So I'll pull up 42,761. I'll draw a line there. Sometimes the numbers are going to be a little off, so you can just like go into it and then just change the number right there.
Sure.
42,761. So since it's resistance, I usually color it red
Hmm.
because it's an area that I'm going to be looking to sell. And then
Okay.
for this here, I'll put in whatever you want to call it, resistance, or if you want to call it what I marked it up there, overnight high, you can do that too. I usually put both. I'll put something like overnight high and I'll put resistance. So this what this tells me is that if price gets up here, then it's going to be a good area to sell from.
Yeah, I'm just locked. I'm watching your charts and then I'm putting in my limit orders.
Oh
It
yeah.
seems to work.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seems to be working.
And that's probably the easiest way to do it. So like what I do here is I'll mark up these levels. You don't have to do this. If this seems like a lot of work or like too much for you right now, don't do it. Just because I'm gonna mark it up on my chart so you'll see it. But if you want to mark this up so you'll see it on your own chart, you can do that.
Mhm.
So again,
I just want to, I'm able to like understand where I need to set my target at, but I'm trying to at least try to understand more like why you're putting it there, I guess.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely, yeah. So like, let me just mark, or well, I think we have the resistance here. So let's see, it's pretty close by. I'll mark up these levels and I'll show you like why I'm taking those sweep areas. So right here,
Okay.
let's see, 42,700, 42,730, 42,700, 730. So like basically the reason I'm marking these areas up is because I'm looking for confluences. So
Hmm.
I got that right there. VWAP zone is at 42,540. Let's see, 540, 560. And the colors don't really matter too much, but I like to have them
Okay.
colored so that they make sense to me. So I know what I'm looking at. Because, if I don't have them colored, I'm like, okay, I don't know if this is like supposed to be a buy area or a sell area. And
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Got you on that one. All
yeah,
right.
having it color coded, just like when I see red, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to sell around there. Or if I see
Yeah.
green, okay, I'm supposed to buy from around there. So I'm just gonna put these two levels here because I don't think price ever came lower from here. There's gonna be support and overnight lows and stuff like that. But I think during the live session there wasn't really any levels that came up around there. So once you have like certain areas as confluences, what I do to identify liquidity is I turn on the high-low indicator. So I'll turn on the high-low indicator
Mhm.
and I'll start with the daily chart. So I'll start off at the daily chart. What I'm doing here is I'm marking up high lows that have not been tested, meaning they've never been touched before. So I'll basically go from top to bottom. So like say for example right here, see how see there's a higher high right here, but you can see that price has already touched it.
Yes.
So I'm not going to mark that up. I'm only going to mark up these over here because these have not been touched yet. So I
Okay.
usually use this horizontal ray, so the blue line tool. I use the magnet, and then what I'll do is I'll draw lines where price has not tested yet.
Okay.
So like this right here, see how there's a higher high right here, but price already touched it?
Yes.
I wouldn't mark that up. I would just mark up this one right here.
All right. The one in front of it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, everything that's untouched. So
Okay.
I'll mark that up right there on the daily chart. And I only do this because I can see like where there's important price areas where price might bounce from. This is what we consider liquidity. The reason why I consider it liquidity is because whenever you enter a position or if someone else enters a position, they usually place their like say for example, someone enters a sell right here, right? They usually place their stop loss at that swing. That's
Okay.
usually what happens. Um, if you're trading like on a bigger time frame or if you're going for those bigger moves, usually that's where they place them. So I'll go from the daily and I'll drop down to there's no specific time frames you want to look at, but I usually try to go half. So like I'll go from
Okay.
daily to like 8 hours. And then right here I do the same thing. I look for the areas that are not tested yet, like right there, mark that up. Right there, I mark that up. These already been
Hmm.
touched, so I don't mess with them. These over here have not been touched yet. You basically want to see that there's not like it's the line that you put out is straight and there's nothing touching it. So right there. Sometimes they're going to be pretty close. Like you can see this one over here is a little close to this one, but you can see it's a little bit below it.
What does a magnet icon do?
It latches to whatever you put it at. So like say for example, I'm up here, right?
Hmm.
And I click on it, it's going to latch to whatever is closest to it, like whatever the price is at.
Okay.
So, because if you don't have the magnet tool on and you draw a line up here, the line's going to show up there.
Oh,
So
okay. I see.
what I'm doing with the magnet tool is so it's exactly at that label right there. So
Okay.
it's exactly at the high lows. So it goes exactly like you're not a little bit above it or a little bit below it. You're like at the exact price.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So basically again right here, so I go from 8 hours to now 4 hours, and then I just keep doing the same thing here, so that I have all of my levels marked up. A lot of these levels are not going to get touched because price doesn't move that much. So 4 hours, I go down to 2 hours, and you don't have to. This might be overkill for you, right? You
Mm.
probably could go from like 4 hours to like maybe 1 hour, but for
Okay.
me, I like to be extra. Like I want to know the exact prices, so I go to it like a deeper extent than what like a normal person would do
Okay.
because I want to know all the levels because I don't want to miss anything, right? So 1 hour, 2 hour, and you'll see here a lot of them they overlap. Like I went down to the 1 hour and I already marked these levels up because they were the same thing on the higher time frames.
Got it.
And then
Okay.
30 minute, and then 15 minute, and then 10 minute, and then usually 10 minute that's as low as I'll go. If you want to go to the 5 minute, you could, but I think 10 minute is fine. And then now I just go back to the 1 minute, and then I mark whatever's left here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, okay, so like once I have these here marked up, I think there was another zone here that I forget where it was, but like our entry was somewhere over here for today. I don't know if I missed it. The VWAP zone is down here. Yeah, I don't know where it was, but I know the entry we took today was like a perfect entry that was right at the, or I think what happened was the zone came up later.
Hmm.
Yeah, so basically you can see over here we have these liquidity zones. There's going to be a lot of liquidity in the chart, but what you want to do is you want to pick out the good liquidity, like the liquidity that matters, right? So there's a lot of liquidity here, and a lot of them are getting triggered. They're not all going to be very quality. And I think the liquidity that I actually took was, I forget where it was. Let me pull up my Discord. One I took was,
Earlier today?
yeah,
Uh,
it was like before 7, right? Yeah,
yes.
I think it was like right here. I think it was this one, or it was this one over here, maybe. Yeah, I think it was, no, it was before 7 o'clock. 6:55. Yeah, I think it was this one right here. So I don't have it marked up, but I had
Mm.
some other. Oh, it was overnight high. Okay, the overnight high was at 42,761. Oh, 671. My bad. I had the number off. 671. Okay, so here, let me go back over here real quick. Okay, so see how I have like pretty much let's see how I can bring this to the front. Okay, so um see how we got all the liquidity right here around these lower areas?
Yes.
You could take liquidity anywhere from these points, but the liquidity that I was aiming for was this overnight high because we have a confluence there, right? So since we have a confluence right there, I'm looking to get in at that specific price point. Like you can get in from here, you can get in from the lower one, you can get in from up here. But for me personally, I'm looking for entry, or actually I was going for the farther one. So you have a couple options here. So you could either get in from down here, you can get in from right here, you can get in right at the overnight high, or you can get in from this really far one up above. For me, I usually pick the one that's super far above because the thing is I don't
Hmm.
want to go into any drawdown, right? I want it to just hit and then come down. If you get
Gotcha.
it here, it's fine, you can get in, but you're probably gonna go into some drawdown because it's gonna push up to grab all the liquidity, basically stop people out. We have the
Hmm.
stop losses right here, and then it comes down. So for my entry today, this is the one that I took. And the reason why I decided to take this one is because this is the farthest one. This basically, if you get this, like say for example, if this hits your stop loss, then this whole analysis was completely wrong, right? Over here, you can be partially wrong because you can get in from here or here, but the farthest that price should push up to would be around this area right here because that's the last level of liquidity. So
Sure. Okay.
that's why I chose that one. And the reason why I chose this cluster of liquidity was because we had the overnight high right here. So that's the reason why I chose these, and I didn't choose any of these down here because there's no confluence
Hmm.
area, right?
More risky. Okay. Gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah, they're more risky, and there's nothing here telling me that price is going to drop, even though there was a liquidity sweep right there.
Hmm.
So you can take it, like there's opportunities to take it. It's just how risky do you want to be? Do you want one
Right.
that's, and then like we talked about earlier, if you're trading with a smaller contract size, you could take both, right? You could take as many as you want. But for me, I only have so much that I can risk per day. So that's why I
Sure.
go for the higher quality one.
Right.
So the one I took would be up here. This one filled our position. Like it was quick. It just filled it pretty much, and then it went straight down to its target, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that's the one that I took today, which was right here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was perfect. And that's how I mark up liquidity. If you want to practice in the morning, or if you want to practice right now, you can just replay to like 6:30 and then
Hmm.
just go from like the daily down to the 1 minute and just mark up the zones. Or not
Okay.
the zones, but the levels.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Well,
pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Once you do it a couple times, it starts to
yeah.
make sense, and it's going to be a lot easier to just mark it up. Like for me, I don't even think about it. I just pull it up and I just start marking up the levels with it.
Yeah.
I just look at the colors and the numbers. I don't even look at the.
Right. I think more or less this conversation with you today was talking to you about my psychology of trading and my working on my discipline and finding some type of direction for that. And
Oh yeah.
I guess not to take any more of your time with what I've told you about how I'm trading and the style or the behavior of my trading. What would be your best advice right now as far as moving forward?
So, I mean, you have a couple different options. The main option you could probably do is, and this would probably be the most efficient because you're already trading on your Apex accounts. I would probably just stick to one account and then
Okay,
just trade it with one contract size, like whichever one you're in profit in right now. Uh,
okay,
use that, just stick to one contract, and then later, once you're like more confident and you see the consistency, then I would move to your live account. I wouldn't just jump into your live account because you don't want to like mess that one up and you're not ready yet.
okay.
At least if you blow an Apex account, that's 10, $30 right there versus,
Yeah,
$100 of your own money.
sure.
So, yeah, I would say start off with that, find that consistency, start to see that you're like turning a profit every week. And then once you turn a profit and you see that happening month over month or week over week, then you could start moving to your live account and then you can just add your Apex accounts to your copier.
Okay. So as of right now, you would suggest Apex account with one contract
Yeah.
every entry?
Yeah, just do one contract. Don't even bother with like looking at the profits at all. I mean, you're gonna look at it regardless, but just what you want to do is aim for a green day pretty much every day or most days.
Okay.
Basically close
Yeah.
the week out in green as much as you can. And then if you see a green week, like after like 2 or 3 weeks, then okay, now you're ready for that next step, and then you can move
Right.
to your actual live account.
I'm always in the like a couple $100 zones, and then I'm trying to get to like $1,500 and 2,000, and then just things start to get rocky.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing with a lot of people, where it's like it's a very common thing where you just have that you feel that pressure even though there's no pressure there. You feel the pressure
Sure.
that you need to be somewhere, you need to be at some level. But the thing is like you gotta like if you're gonna compare yourself to like me, I've been doing this for years. So like for me, it's like of course I should know what I'm doing by now, but for you, it's like you're still in the learning phase. So
Yeah.
I always tell people it's the cost of education, right? You're taking these losses and you're losing this money, but in the future, you're doing this as investing in yourself, so that in the future you're going to be able to be good and consistent, and you'll make
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree.
yeah. You just gotta look at the
Yeah.
bigger picture. So it's okay to take these losses and feel the pain right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully over the next couple months or next couple weeks, you're going to start to see some consistency. Because once you see that consistency, now you already have a system in play, and now you just add more size or you add more contracts, and
Perfect.
now you just start making more profit automatically.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. If you have any questions, bro, always feel free to reach out.
Absolutely, man. You enjoy the rest of your night. If you haven't
Yeah.
had dinner yet, enjoy the
Yeah,
rest of your
yeah.
night, man.
No, definitely. So I'll probably see you on Friday then. No market tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, bro. Have a great
All
rest of
right, take care. And
see you.
let me know when I was gonna ask when that opportunity opens up on the investment side, man.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's what I'm gonna get to right now. I'm gonna get to studying for that test.
Okay, all right, man.
Gotta grind that out.
All right, well, have a good night.
All right, brother.